Hello there, Capricorn. Thank you for stopping by for your weekly video tarot forecast for the week of October 5th through the 11th. On Monday, the card that you have coming up is the Eight of Cups. I gotta tell you, this card feels very empowering for you guys. Whenever I pick it up, the feeling I pull is just a feeling of total empowerment. The card actually talks about having a situation in your life that you have evaluated, and as you look at it, you realize that you are putting in much more effort than any kind of energy that you're getting back from this situation. And so you're just getting depleted as you keep interacting with this situation, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a work situation, whatever it is. And so it could be a friendship. And so what you decide is, this is depleting me. I can't do this anymore. And so you decide to walk away from this situation. And like I said, generally when I see this card, it makes me really sad. But this feels so empowering to pick up that card for you guys today, that walking away from that situation is really actually lifting you up and propelling you forward. So really coming in as a good card for you guys, Capricorns. Now Tuesday, what you have coming up is you have the Seven of Clubs. And the Seven of Clubs is telling me that you are taking a stand for yourself on Tuesday. So what you're doing is you're saying, okay, you know what? I will do this and this and this, and then that's it. That's the boundary. That's as far as I'll go. Anything outside that boundary is someone else's responsibility because I'm not handling it. I'm handling these things that are my responsibilities. So it's taking a stand for yourself. It's saying this is as far as I'm going to go. And so that's what I see you doing on Tuesday, just setting those boundaries, letting people know, okay, I'm fine with doing this much. Period. So Wednesday, let's move forward. We have the Ten of Swords in reverse, Capricorn. Ten of Swords in reverse is kind of a fun little card. And I say that in almost an evil way, but not really, because it's really about fairness and justice coming around. So the Ten of Swords in reverse is talking about that there was a situation where there were people talking about you and saying things that really were not true about you, and there was nothing that you could do to stop that situation or to handle it, because if you would have said anything, you would have looked bad. If you don't say anything, you look bad, So it's a no-win situation. But when the Ten of Swords comes up in reverse, what that's telling me is that all of a sudden you have won this situation without even trying. So something has happened, or something is happening on Wednesday where you're just being yourself. And your true colors are just out there, just like they always are. But something happens that really shows to light how these things that were being said about you weren't true. Like they just couldn't be true and have what you did on Wednesday be what you did on Wednesday. It just wouldn't make sense. It would be too opposing. And so it's a situation that shows who you really are, shows what the truth really is, and also it gives people a better idea of who you are, but also a better idea about those people who were spreading those rumors and who they are and what they're up to. So it's a really cool card to have come in. It's like justice, and it's justice that you don't even have to work to have. It just shows up on your doorstep. It's a fabulous thing. Now on Thursday, what you have coming up is you have the King of Swords. And the King of Swords is somebody that you're going to be interacting with on Thursday. This does feel like for most of you a boss or a supervisor that you're going to be interacting with. And I think this boss or the supervisor, what I'm hearing is he's having kind of a rough day. For most of you it'll be a he. For some of you it will be a she. General readings you can't really pinpoint like that. So this boss or supervisor, I feel like they are having kind of a rough day. They're having a hard time making everything go the way it's supposed to go, and they're really frustrated. And I feel like for them, a little bit of that frustration comes out on you. But it's interesting because I feel like you turn that conversation around because you're able to say, well, what if we did such and such? And you just happen to have the solution or part of the solution that this person needs. And all of a sudden, just knowing that he's got something that he can work with, he just takes off and starts moving forward. So I don't feel like he's going to be taking things out on you for very long before you're able to say, what if we do such and such? And you kind of divert him from that spewing on you just because he's having a bad day. So anyway, that's the interaction that I see coming in for you Thursday, Capricorns. Friday, Capricorns, Ace of Clubs in reverse. I feel like on Friday you're passing along an inspiring idea to somebody in your life. So this could be somebody at work, it could be one of your children, it could be somebody in your neighborhood, could be anybody. The card doesn't really tell who it would be for, but this message of inspiration is something that where you're just passing along some ideas to somebody. I think for a lot of you, this is going to be very verbal and very logical. You're just going to be passing along ideas to somebody in your life. For others of you, this is going to be a different type of message of inspiration. It's going to be where you're just doing your thing, and people see you doing your thing, and they think, wow, I wish I handled those situations about at least half as good as this person did. It would make such a big difference in my life. And so you inspire them this way. For those of you who are just doing your thing, I don't think you're going to even know right away that you inspired the person. I think it's going to be 2 or 3 weeks before you hear back that, you know, you did something that actually inspired them just by being yourself. And that's made them figure out how to make a change in their life so that they can handle things better as well. Okay, so Saturday, what we have showing up is we have the Star card in reverse. And the Star card in reverse talks about being really out of touch with reality, not feeling very connected to Sacred Spirit, just being kind of free floating. And this can be, I typically don't really give examples of this, but this could be something like where we're really mad at God. You know, I think we all go through those phases sometimes in our lives where we're just really mad at God. And a lot of times when we are mad at God, you know, our reality around us, what we're perceiving as our reality, is really sucking. But the real deal, if you could see the big picture, is that it's actually not sucking at all. It's actually the opposite of that. But because we can't see that and we expect God to be taking care of us and to treating us well because we're good people and so we should be treated well, then we get angry at God. So now we've cut ourselves off from God. We're cut off from the real reality and we're kind of free floating out there somewhere. And to give you an example of that, this is really personal. It's also really old. But I got divorced a long time ago from my first husband. And when I did, what had happened basically was that I had figured out that he was cheating on me, and this had not been the first time. And so I had confronted him and asked him, do you want to keep playing the field or do you want to be married? But you're not doing both anymore, so pick one. And he was having trouble picking one. So I decided to help him pick and told him he needed to have all of his stuff out of my house by Friday. Well, it was Monday. So obviously I'm a Scorpio. The stinger was out. And so I was not feeling very in touch with reality after that afternoon, after that conversation. I was just like, I can't believe that my marriage is over. I had been with the guy for 12 years. I can't believe my marriage is over. This is just like surreal. And I really was angry at God because I had felt God's nudge to confront him and to say, what do you want to do here? And to really bring the situation to a head so that we could have some kind of movement forward, either closure or fixture. Fixture. I don't know if you can really use that word that way, but anyway. So I was pretty pissed at God for having me say this to him, because here was the end of my marriage, and I believed marriages were supposed to last a lifetime. And I felt like my marriage was ending because of what I had said, which God had nudged me to say, and it was all his fault. And so I can remember I was really depressed. So like, I don't know, 5:30, 6 o'clock at night, I decided to go to bed. So I went and laid down, and I heard on the TV in the other room the intro to one of those preaching shows that said, God has a word for you, or a word from God can change your life, or something like that. Some of you will recognize that, I'm sure. And I just thought, yeah, what's your word for me right now, God? And so I opened up my Bible, closed my eyes, and I never did this. I never used to do this, but this day I did, and I just took my finger and I let it drop. And it dropped back in the glossary, and it dropped on the word hallelujah. That was his word for me. Well, it took me several months to realize that hallelujah was the appropriate word that day, but I was so out of touch with reality, out of touch with the idea that this guy had been cheating on me left and right for years, out of touch with God, with I had cut myself off from him. I was angry at him. So this is like the total perfect depiction of the star card, when you're just so out of touch, when you're angry at God and you think he's not doing anything to help you when he really is, and you're out of touch with reality. That's the star card in reverse. So that's the card that you have coming in Saturday, where that reality can be really hard to see, and where you think that God is not really there. The real deal is he is, and the real deal is things are working out in your favor, whether you know it or not. So anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox there. Let's move on to Sunday, Capricorn. And you guys, I don't mean to push my theology on anybody, so, out of everything that you hear here, just take what you want and throw away the rest. Take it all with a grain of salt, because it's all based on my opinion, except for when I'm actually reading. But my stories and my theology is all my opinion. Okay, so Sunday, you Capricorns have the Six of Cups showing up. And the Six of Cups just means that you're looking back at an old time that has passed with a nostalgia. Kind of that feeling of, wow, those were really the good old days, weren't they? I kind of wish we could go back to that type of feeling. So it's a fun situation on Sunday, and it feels like you're either looking back with old friends or you're looking back with family members. But either way, just really having fun thinking back about the old memories. So Capricorns, that's your week. I want to thank everybody for stopping by, for hanging out with me for a little while today. I appreciate that. Those of you who have been purchasing my daily videos and watching them so faithfully, thank you, thank you, thank you. Everyone who has had a reading with me and everyone who will, thank you to you. Also, everyone who is liking, subscribing, sharing my videos, I appreciate all of your support so much. Everyone have a fantastic week. I'll see you back here next time. Peace out.